Today I'm at Hailing Island Beach, enjoying the sunshine, the fresh sea breeze and the smell of freshly cooked fish and chips. But I'm leaving the island to meet a very special someone who lives not far away. But can you guess who they are by looking at these clues? That's right, it's Sally Preisig. Oh, and Peggy Patch.
Hello, I'm Peggy Patch, and it's an honour to be with Connor. Yay!
What's the name of the interview, Peggy?
It's called Patch to Patch. Yay!
So stay tuned, because this is Patch to Patch, the full Sally Preisig interview. Right, hello everyone, my name's Connor and I am joined by Sally. We're finally together. It's taken ages and ages to prep this, but we're finally here. So, today I'm going to give Sally an interview about all of her work. Don't be too nervous. And I decided to call it Patch to Patch. A little ring to Peggy Patch. Little Peggy. Right, so, first of all, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks.
Good?
Yeah, very good, very good.
Right, so let's get into some of these questions then.
Yeah.
So, the first question I want to ask you is, how did you first get started in puppeteering and voice acting?
Oh, well, I went to Middlesex Poly and did a thing called performance arts, with, leggings and, what do they call it? Yeah, leg warmers. Yeah, leg warmers.
Leg warmers.
Anyway, went through that, and worked for a theatre company for a while, and then there was a job that was in The Guardian for a prop person on a puppet programme. And I went there and got the jobs as assistant props, and it was full of puppets, and the guys that made the puppets said, would I like to come and work for them after we finished shooting that programme? So that was called The Wild Bunch, and that was on Channel 4. So John Thurtle and Ian Allen, who were Playboy puppets, which are Button Moon, they employed me. So I did a bit of work on Button Moon, but then carried on making puppets with them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
on the topic of puppets and costumes and stuff, can you tell us how Mimics Productions first came about in 1988 and what your vision for it was?
Wow. Mimics, I had to have a name for the production for me.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't, I couldn't just be Sally Preisig Incorporates or whatever. So it was a name that I had to find.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for those of the people who doesn't know what Mimics Productions is, what does that come under? What do you do?
I make puppets and costumes these days. So big mascot costumes and puppets.
Yes, we're currently in her workshop now.
This is my workshop.
It's our workshop.
Yeah. Hello. Sorry, there were just a few things that I forgot to say when I was talking to Connor. Anyway, I've got to look at the right bit of the camera, so that would help. Yeah. So I did Muppet Christmas Carol. That's the other thing I didn't say. I was just one of the additional puppeteers. So we did that in 1992. Had about 3 days on that. So that was really, really good fun. And watched how the real guys do it. So to sit up the top, I operated a couple of birds up in one of the windows. You can just see me in one of the couple of the scenes. Anyway, just looking down on Frank Oz. They're really famous puppeteers. So. And Jerry, loads of them, Steve, all the Muppet, amazing people. So that was one silly thing I did.
So now I suppose we best get on to the topic of Playdays.
Playdays, yeah.
Because everyone loves you for Playdays.
Yeah.
So let's ask you first of all, how did the opportunity for Playdays come about for you?
Hello, I'm Peggy Patch, and I'm out today. I've come to the country to stop and play.
Well, I was working for John and Ian and Playboy Puppets and Button Moon, and the phone rang, and it was one of the producers, Ros Farrimond, who wanted a female performer that didn't mind lying about in mud and talking about animals. And I'm a farmer's daughter, so
it was perfect.
Mud and animals are perfect.
It went well.
So I went for an audition, and I got the job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's...
So me and Peggy met.
Oh, little Peggy.
I'm Peggy Patch, and I'm out today.
Oh, little Peggy.
That's little Peggy, yeah.
Yes. Is this your favourite Peggy?
Yeah.
Yeah, we love Peggy.
Yeah.
So what was it like then, bringing Peggy Patch to life and giving her a voice? Because obviously she was a puppet, but a doll, wasn't she?
She was a doll, yeah. She was a doll that was carried around by a human performer for ages. And then, I got the job to make her talk and and sing, and we performed all over the place.
Yeah.
And it was
How
great
long was
fun.
you on Playdays for?
The last 3 years, the last 3.5 years, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So
A long run then.
Well, it had been on air since 1988, and
Yeah.
I joined in 94.
Yeah.
And it finished. It was axed for Teletubbies.
Yeah.
Teletubbies took over from it in 1997. So
Bummer.
yeah.
Okay, so after production,
Yeah.
well, we obviously know this. What happened to Peggy Patch, and where is she now?
Well, Peggy stayed in our producer, in our boss's garage for several years,
Yeah.
and he just decided to let us have them 2 years ago. He came
Oh.
in. So myself, Ellie Darville, who was Wybird, and Sue Munro had our puppets. Well, given our puppets back. Ironically, Poppy, Sue's character, Poppy the cat, had been eaten by mice
No.
in her work in the garage in a bin liner. So being a puppet maker, I was then a puppet repairer, so I had to repair Poppy. And
I'll put a photo of that in as well.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
did a very good job.
but she was ironically cat eaten by mice.
Yeah,
so,
just how
that's-
ironic.
Yeah.
So did Playdays help open doors for later work in children's TV?
Oh yeah, I
then?
met everyone then
Yeah.
from the who have ever employed me since. Also, I did actually audition for the Teletubbies. I forgot to say, when it was called Teleteddies. And then Anne Wood, who was auditioning us at the time, sort of said, actually, you've got a bit longer on Playdays, because they had some. So I thought Playdays would be finishing, and Teletubbies was going to be taking over. And then they said, Anne Wood took me to one side and said, actually, your Playdays have got another year yet, because we've got planning troubles with our Teletubbies mound. So, although we might be interested in you, I think you might want to stay where you are for the moment. So that was the other interesting thing I forgot to say. Well, I think it might not be interesting to you, sorry.
You did other projects after Fun Factory before Tweenies, because in 1997 you puppeteered Sandy the Sandwich for the Lunch
Yes,
Bunch.
I did the Lunch Bunch.
For Channel 4's Stop, Look and Listen.
Yes.
So what do you remember about that experience?
Yeah, well, that was Sheila Fraser TV. So she was a fantastic woman, fantastic little production company. Really clever. This was for a thing called Stop, Look and Listen. So when you were a kid and the teachers wanted a moment off, they'd stick the television on, and it was an educational program about food called The Lunch Bunch, and I played Sandy the Sandwich.
Yes,
So,
she was.
Yeah, and my dear friend Sarah Davidson, who was my main human being on Playdays, on the Patch Stop, she was my main sort of human mate on Playdays. So she was in it. She was Pip the Apple, and was a human presenter on it as well. So and Jonathan Broughton was the Flask.
Yes.
So we had a really good
Wasn't
fun.
Liz the music director?
Liz Kitchen again. So
Yes.
I mean, the thing is that's what TV is about.
Yes.
You like to work with people. I mean, obviously Sheila Fraser knew Liz really well, and Liz had done Fun Song Factory, and Graham Pike had done Fun Song Factory. I think once you get a team you like working with, it is true. Yeah, it's
because obviously with everything you've done, you've always had some kind of person from the Tweenies team working with you.
Well, you just mentioned old mates who you think are really good, and they're hardworking and funny and just lovely to be around, and that's what you want from a job, really. If you don't want to be working with people that annoy you.
Not really.
Really. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was very good.
So, how did you get involved in Fun Song Factory?
Well, on Playdays, I had also made a few bits and bobs and props, costumes, and a few things. And obviously, the guys, Will Brenton and Ian Allen. Well, his real name is actually Ian as well. Yeah, Ian. Anyway, but that's another thing.
Another
anyway,
story.
Will and Ian, who are producers and directors on Playdays, then we just became really good friends. And I mean, everyone was good friends on that program. It was such a good few years together. And they knew I made stuff and said, we've got this thing called Fun Song Factory. We've got this, and this needs to be made. So there were several puppets and quite a lot of props. Like there was some talking paint tins and singing paint tins, and there was a great big orange man called Honk, whose nose honked, and Sally the cat.
So how ironic.
Yeah,
Sally
and
the cat.
yes, I got.
You were Sally the cat.
I
weren't you?
was Sally the
You
cat.
was,
Yes,
yes.
I was Sally the cat.
Yes.
Yes. But she made a lot of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was blue, but she was basically, I mean, sort of basically copied on Poppy the cat, kind of facially, but blue. But blue and a bit pink.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
So obviously, yeah, as you just said, you worked with Ian Lachlan and Will Brenton on
Yes.
Fun Song Factory.
Yes. Yeah.
And others who went on to create Tweenies. So
Yeah.
what was it like collaborating with them at that stage?
Oh, brilliant. We were doing Fun Song Factory, and a lady called Sheila Fraser TV couldn't take on. Certain companies were offered the tender, which is when you take an idea. The BBC invited certain companies with their tender, which is their idea for a future children's programme on BBC. And Sheila Fraser TV was offered it, and she was too small a company, and so she gave the slot to Will and Ian. And so Will and Ian took their ideas that they had and developed it, and they asked me to make the miniature dolls, which I've got some of the prototypes.
Got some of
here.
them here.
These are sort of second sets that I made for
Yes.
myself. And Sid, who didn't make it.
He was axed.
He's missing his hair, his hat.
Yeah.
But so they're all here in their original liveries.
Yeah, we've got photos of how they actually
Yeah.
would look once they're complete.
So these were the little guys that
Yes.
I made them, and then so Bella and Jake went in a box, in a black cardboard box with a cellophane front I'd made for them, with little tags on their hands saying who they were, along with a huge document from Will and Ian about what Tweenies was about.
Yeah.
And it was always called Tweenies. It started, that was its name from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then we were invited back. I was sort of on the outskirts of the, I was like the fifth Beatle. I was on the outskirts of the core members of the team.
Yeah.
But I did these little bits and pieces, and then we got invited back, and I made a Fizz puppet-sized Fizz, and operated her in front of the hobnobs at the BBC, just to sort of try and give them a bit of an idea what it could look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had a baby. There was a little baby that used to be in the
there's a little
original.
baby.
Yes, that he went by the wayside, and so did Sid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then Judy and Max
Came along. Yes.
So
with Fun Song Factory, did you then sense it was going to be something bigger? Like, would it lead to something bigger?
Oh gosh, yes, because it was a full Fun Song Factory. The latter ones were for GMTV, so that was a whole series. I can't remember how many we did. I think it was something like 12. There might be more. I mean, correct me. I'm probably wrong. I can't remember, but there were quite a few Fun Song Factories. But yeah, they went out on GMTV on a Sunday morning, I think it was. But and then our whole them as a production company then completely went from 4 with me on the outskirts, so sort of 5, and then designers, Vicky and Paul Cripps, and then everyone. I mean, they went from a tiny office to this massive train of a production company. So
yes.
I did audition for Mopatop's shop as well, and that came at the same time as Tweenies, but I decided, I'd stick with Tweenies. Mopatop was for Henson's, which is like amazing, but I did decide perhaps that would I should stick with The Devil I Know.
So now we're getting on to the main event, Tweenies. So
Never heard of it.
me either.
Tweenies.
I ain't got a clue.
No.
No. Right, so when did you first hear about Tweenies, and how did the opportunity come about for you?
Well, working on Fun Song Factory, and we went through the tender process, and we kept getting shortlisted, and there were another couple of programmes with BBC Scotland, and we didn't know if we'd get it, and there was this thing called Bob the Builder, and we thought, oh god, there's another, but that was animation, and, but famous voices, so it was touch and go, and then they suddenly heard, you've got it. This was in 1999. And then it was basically all systems go. So the Telltale Productions, they became Telltale Productions, and went from a tiny office in Soho to having to get a suite of rooms in Elstree Film Studios up in Boreham Wood, and and yeah, the large juggernaut that became Telltale evolved very fast. And I was asked to make, because I'd made the dolls, and we scaled them up to basically make the costume. So I took all the costume patterns and scaled up human form.
Yeah.
And then in the meantime, they were auditioning all the actors and the what they call skin performers. Anyone inside a costume is called a skin performer. So there's all sorts of rude jokes about that. But anyway, we won't go there. And they were so. Because I'd worked for Trestle Theatre Company when I very first came out of Middlesex Polytechnic. I worked for Trestle, which was Mask and Mime Theatre Company, so very physical actors with masks on. So I'd age-old friend Jenny Hutchinson. So Jen became
Was Fizz. Skin actor.
It's not basically as a result of me, but their names were mentioned by me and then
Yes.
several other people, and so they got auditioned and obviously got the parts. I never met Sam Dodd before, who's Jake. But I knew Alan Riley, who was inside Doodles. He was in Trestle and still has been working for Trestle over the years. And then Colleen and Bob had done a little bit. Well, Bob had done little bits on Fun Song Factory, and Colleen and him had met at the Belgrade Theatre doing the pantomimes with Will and Ian, because they always wrote the pantomimes for the Coventry Belgrade Theatre. So they all knew each other, and then we auditioned for the voices and got it. And we had to send in sound tapes, several of them, and there's a CD that we recorded that went in with the tender document, which was myself, a chap called Carl Woolley, who I haven't mentioned yet, and Carl was on Playdays with us. He was on the Poppy Stop.
He was
Carl Poppy's human presenter.
Yes.
They lived in a flat together on their Poppy Stop on a Friday. So Carl, he did the voices on this CD with us, myself, Colleen, Justin, and Jenny. Jenny actually did some voices on it as well.
Yeah, I think Bob did his Milo, but it sounded very different.
And Bob, yes.
Yeah.
But Justin was Sid.
Yes.
I was Jake. Jenny did Fizz.
Bob was Milo, but
Bob
it was
did
very
Milo,
different.
but very differently.
And then Carl was Max.
Yeah.
And then you was also Judy and Jake.
Judy, and I did.
And you was
Jake,
Bella,
yeah.
a Scottish Bella.
Yes, I did a Scottish
Yes.
Bella. Yeah.
I'll definitely be chucking some of those in this footage, because that's funny. People need to see this.
Yes, so you should listen to it.
Listen to it
now.
Now.
I love driving diggers. I could drive a digger all day. With digger driver driving, with digger driving, with digger driver driving stick. With digger driver driving, with digger driving, with digger driver driving stick. With digger driver driving, with digger driving, with digger driving.
Right, now you've listened to it. So,
I mean, but we'd all forgotten. I'd completely forgotten about that CD until I found it in my attic only about 2 weeks ago.
you can also notice on the cover the baby with Sid that got axed later on.
Yeah.
And Doodles is blue, so that's interesting.
Yeah. And Max and Judy didn't exist particularly. Well, we didn't have any characters for them. But as what was I going to say? So the one thing that happened is that if you've got a core of voices that are recording, because we'd never get seen, luckily, there were going to be too many female voices, because if Judy was a female, Jake was a female, Fizz was a female, Bella was a female, we'd only have one male voice, which was Milo. So it was decided that Justin would be Jake, to give us two male and two definite female voices. And then Judy was, luckily they found Sinead Rush, because she was beautifully Irish, and her voice had a certain lilt to it, and she was the perfect size to be Judy out on location, which is another whole thing we've got to discuss.
We'll probably get to that.
Yeah, so that's why we swapped around a bit. So Justin became Jake, I then just did Bella, and then Colleen, Jenny was then a performer in the costume, and Colleen did the voices. But it was pretty much decided quite quickly.
It was probably a really rushed process, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, you created the original prototype dolls, as we can see.
Yes, these are the guys.
So they were used to secure the pitch to the BBC is it the 24th of July 1998 that it came, or was it 1999? 1999. Yeah, so tell us about the progress.
Well, actually, no, 1998 we were told.
Yes.
And then I started fiddling about making stuff. These were made, during. I've got it in my diary somewhere.
Yes.
I've got my diary.
You've got a big diary here, guys.
And we went for the tender process. Yeah.
Yes.
There were about 3 different rounds, 2 rounds, and then 3 rounds. And then from these, when we got the job, the guys sculpted their faces from the dolls.
Yeah.
There's some photos, so we'll put them in.
Yeah.
The guys sculpting the faces. And everyone said, why did Fizz have that? Because this is Fizz without eyes. But somebody had done that.
Yeah, you can tell it sticks out.
With the Fizz doll. Yeah. And I went in there. They'd sculpted her head. And I went, oh, someone squished her head. And they went, oh, don't do that. And I went, well, no, it's someone's pushed her nose out.
Yeah.
So she was sculpted, the first one, with a very long muzzle to her.
Yes, and that's why she looked weird for the first batch of episodes.
Whereas she should have been like a Milo.
A bit like that.
So the secret was
is this exclusive?
No, I'm sure people know. After the Fizz, the camel faced Fizz was axed, and they used Milo's head mould, but then obviously coloured it the yellowy gold.
Yes.
So there you go.
Well, that's the secret.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did it feel knowing that they played such a key role in getting the show commissioned?
Oh, it's good, but people. It's like anything that you like to see a 3D. You like to see a version of something. To the difference between a picture and actually seeing something that you can tangibly hold.
I mean, surprisingly, Jake and Milo pretty much stayed the same.
Yes,
didn't they?
Only the colour of so Bella and Milo. The colour of Bella's face went to this colour. We swapped those 2 blues basically, and she also had a skirt to begin with.
Yes.
There were flowers on them right from the start, or squishy flowers on Bella, and sort of. But Fizz had different flowers on her.
Yeah, she was completely different. She was green.
We'll show you the photo what they look like. But yes, and she had sort of dreadlocky hair with nice beads in.
Yes. So what was the audition process like? Did you always intend to play Bella, or were you considered for other characters?
I did. I love doing Jake because a female voice. He's the famous sort of the most famous female voice is Noddy. Susan Sheridan does Noddy, and obviously a female voice, but she sounds like a young boy. And Nancy Cartwright with Bart Simpson, as a little boy,
Yes.
But I love being Jake.
Yes, and his digger.
Digger driving.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Jake. I'm not very scared of spiders. Not very.
Anyway, but and we did it all by cassette, but the old-fashioned cassette.
Yes.
Talking into a microphone.
Yes. Yeah. So, how did you and the rest of the cast develop the unique personalities and voices of the Tweenies? Was there a lot of improvisation? Yeah,
quite a lot. Yeah. And quite early on, we just sort of cut in. We knew so the Tweenies had to put a human inside a Tweenie. You've got to scale everything up.
Yeah.
So, like Sam was 4 foot. Oh, I've forgotten, 4'6". Tamsin and Jenny's 4'11.5". Must have 4'10.5". So when they get their heads on, they're kind of human size. So they're sort of 5 foot something. And Tamsin, when she wore Bella, was my height. We see us standing together, and we're exactly the same height. So because they're supposed to be kids, then the set had to be enormous.
Massive.
Yeah. So we knew that if we went out on the location to go and film with the general public, we had to go down again.
Yeah, because otherwise they'd be too tall.
Yeah,
because they wouldn't be like children.
Yeah. So we knew that we'd have to have puppet versions.
Yes.
And this was for the first series only. They got axed after a while because they were really troublesome to film. They were really heavy.
Yeah.
But after a while, as soon as people got wind of what we were and who we were, you can't record quietly or secretly anywhere. You're kind of bombarded with people. So and I think it just became too much of a problem to film out and about. So we were given the puppets. There's a very long-winded way of saying we were given the puppets to practice with, and that's when the mischievous side came out. And because we had no scripts, there's the famous one. I shot it on my camera of us doing Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Which we were just having fun, because it's something you know, if you find a song, we could have done nursery rhymes, but why not do something silly?
Why not just be silly?
And we probably did. We did loads of nursery rhymes, but we had to practice how those puppet heads worked on our hands and what looked good on the camera.
Yeah.
Mama, just kill the man. Put a gun against his head. Pull the trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life has just begun.
But now I've gone and thrown it all away.
Mama, didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on, as if nothing really matters.
And then, you know, come, I think it was about April or May, we went out and started filming 1999, and nobody knew who we were. It was fantastic. We were in parks in London and all over the place, and nobody knew who we were, what we were.
Yeah.
And we could just get on with it. People would just go, "Oh, what are you doing?" "Oh, it's just a kids' TV program." They just walk on. you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, but yeah.
So what was it like then, transitioning from creating the costumes to becoming the voice of Bella?
Yeah. Well, that was a hideous Christmas, because because I was making I'd made all the patterns and was waiting for this specialized. I'd found this specialized fabric which had a flocked surface. It was they used to make a baby blanket fabric from America, and they couldn't dye it up for us in America. They could supply it to us in sort of, I think we had something like 200 meters arrived in plain cream. The Max's shirt colour that's the untouched version. Now I found this company up in Blackburn in Lancashire, who've since disappeared, which is a shame. But they dyed all the fabrics for me over Christmas, and I've got pages and pages of notes in my attic. I found the other day in a file of all the comings and goings, and what they call the Pantone colour references, that they had to be, and they burnt the fabric, and it was boiled too hot, so all the flocking came off. So it took
a lot to perfect it then.
Well, what we wanted, that look, it's like these. So
Yeah.
they had that, the faces and the fabric of the faces and the fabric of the costumes were almost completely the same.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like that they were wearing cotton print and they were tweenies.
Yes.
They just had to be their selves. So that was the really important thing. So when the faces, the heads were flocked, which is really, really touchy stuff. You couldn't actually touch it. You know, they had a frame bolted around the back of their heads they had to lift them on and off the performers. Because if you touched their faces, it marked, or it would really...
That's why there were, in some episodes, there was a few marks on their faces.
Yeah, it was really difficult not to... Well, even if they touched their own face, at least their hands were flocked. It's like velvet on velvet, or you know, like two nail brushes.
Yeah.
You know, if you get a mark on their faces.
Yeah.
But that was so the costumes. Yeah, they dyed the fabric for me all Christmas, and the fabrics arrived for me about January the 3rd.
Oh, straight after Christmas. New Year.
January 3rd or 4th or something, and then I got a team of friends and Natasha Bailey, who also lived down here, who then became the wardrobe mistress. We physically bought brand new Bonina sewing machines and had them all set up in my house, and we sewed for probably 1 week straight, just applying all the flowers and stuff. That took ages.
Yeah.
The coats hadn't been designed then, so Natasha made them later, but we had lots and lots, and there's some footage of mine with rolls and rolls of fabric in our spare room.
Yeah.
Just waiting to be sewn.
Yes.
And we hadn't worked out that in the end the characters wore tights, dyed up tights, because we were going to make flocked legs, but the fabric just wasn't stretchy enough, and it wrinkled, and you know. So, but Neil Scanlon Studios, they made all the gloves, which had to be put on with talcum powder. So they were all flocked as well. And then the costumes were made by us, and the boots, the big boots were made by Neil Scanlon's, and the small boots were made by Bob Golding's, Bob Milo's then wife.
Oh.
So she made all the little boots for the puppets. So I made everything from there to the ankle.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Oh.
yeah, and Julia, his ex-wife, or then wife, made the boots for the Tweenie puppets. So yeah.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long did it take to perfect Bella's voice, and what was that process like?
Not long. We didn't have long.
Did it not long?
No, because we had, I think as soon as we started getting scripts, which was like Over and Under, what was the other ones we filmed quite early on?
Flowers, I think, was an early one.
Yeah, some of them. The
Telephone.
Flowers, yeah, oh God,
That was a
Telephone.
really
oh,
early
Telephone.
one.
The Telephone was, I think, the first actual one we recorded. It's so slow.
It is.
It's so slow. But the bosses from Judy Whitfield, who was one of the bosses from Tweenies, or the head of, I think she was head of children's, I can't remember her job description, but they were all the BBC hobnobs were sort of standing behind us, and they were going, slow it down, you know, this is for really young children. And we were going, no, they can keep up with
I mean,
us.
later on though, it went like, it was really fast.
Well, we had 19 minutes to film.
Yeah.
To fill. So with the opening credits, the end credits, and then what we could fill in the middle. So if you pulled it out too long, you know, you need a, you know, not too much.
Yeah.
You know, a filler. You know, not too much script. But yeah, the more you rattle through it, yeah. But yeah.
So what was a typical day like on filming, like with an episode then? Like, how did that all work on a typical day?
Right. So the very first series, which I only did the first series. Because,
Sadly.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, due to good reasons. Anyway, but we would be off shooting the voices, me, Bob, Colleen, and Justin, and Sinead. We'd go off filming out on location with the general public, doing all these little inserts and some of the little bits and pieces, and some of the actual programs that were fully out on location. So we had a few months doing that, but we'd do 2 weeks on, 1 week off. So then we'd come back into the studios, and our skin performers, so Tamsin, Jenny, Sam, and Chris, who's Milo's body, and Simon, who was in Max and Judy, would have been in the studios going through 5 or 10 scripts. I think it was 5 at a time. We did 5 1 week and 5 another week, so 10 in a block, and they would have been blocking. So they've been reading the scripts out themselves on the actual set and blocking their footprints, basically where their feet would be, because they really had to know where they were in the set, because of basically not being able to see. They could only see through the mouths
when it was open.
Yeah, so if we shut their mouths,
you actually notice. You notice in the episodes you've got Tams doing this to say,
open my mouth. So yeah, so they'd be doing all the blocking with their director, with their studio director. Then we'd waltz in,
yes,
and then with our version of our scripts, not marked up or anything, and so they'd perform it in front of us once.
Yes.
And then taking notes, and I'd be looking. So me personally would be looking at Tam, and Tam would be going 1, 2, 3, then say the word, because she'd have to go down a step and back up again, or
so sometimes you'd have to be slower so she could get to one place to another,
and not trip over doodles, or not trip over a prop or a beanbag or whatever. So we'd be looking like that, and she'd go slow down, or they'd go, I've got an idea, and I'd be watching her. Anyway, but basically we did what we were told. Yeah. So if Tamsin said this is the way that it should be done, that's the way I kind of followed. Yes. So there's a few moments we got to know each other really well after a while, but those initial rehearsal periods, it was just sort of learning each other's funny mannerisms and learning how Bella actually, because Tamsin was very passionate, very good at her job, so it was really good fun. I could just sort of follow her facial expressions, going, you know,
a little foot stamp or putting her hair.
Oh God,
when Bella's
and then
a
doing
tiz.
twisting her hair, and and then pulling her pants down, you know.
Yes.
I know. What if this was a flying carpet? Then we could go there by magic. Oh, yes! Let's go on a flying carpet. Oh, bye, Ellie. And you? Ready? Let's go! Woo!
Okay, should we record that?
Can we change our note? I'll tell you what.
Right. Yep. Okay, then we could go there by magic. Is that all right, Sal? Yeah.
Then the second time they acted it through, we spoke it.
Yes.
Then the third time they acted it through, we spoke it, but we were recorded, so it was really fast.
Yes.
And then that would be the end of that program. We'd
And
do a
on-
few
yeah.
pickups if they were a bit rubbish, because if they didn't want to stop. But it would be basically, we would be recorded and they'd have to be as quiet as possible so nothing was picked up on our mics. Then we do that with the 5 programs that week, and then they'd go home and they'd have a break, and then we would stay in the studio for a whole afternoon and sometimes a whole nother day, do all the songs in all the different part harmonies within the studio. So we'd be standing in the set just with microphones, sort of in a semicircle with Liz or Graham in front of us, just mouthing to us and saying, do it again, that was rubbish, or you know, and then we'd all be split onto different tracks as well, so we were all so that we could be taken in and out of mixes, and we could also be dubbed into all the different languages they ever wanted to do.
Yes.
And then on the Thursday, Friday and Saturday, it would be the studio. All the cameramen would come in, all the technical crew, and they'd put their heads on. We'd be on the pack system, which was how we operated the heads and the mouth movements. So we were in the back with headphones on, and the studio was completely silent.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to pick up what they called the Foley track, the track
Yes.
of the stamping of their feet or the clapping of their gloves.
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't particularly, but the ambient noise, so that would therefore be on the programme when they wanted to record it in the different languages.
Yes.
It would all be there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And it would be really fast and furious because the soundtrack, but overnight, the sound guys, bless it, lovely Walters, who was one of our brilliant sound guys, would be there just basically editing the whole program together to this 90 minutes, and that was absolutely finite, so nobody could overrun, you know, they couldn't put in extra lines or whatever. You had to, because it was all pre-recorded, they had to fit the action back to the sound. So really cleverly done.
It really is.
And not much room for messing it up.
Yes. Right, so were there any memorable behind the scenes moments which you remember or that stand out?
Oh, loads, just all sorts of just messing about.
Do you think your last day is like one of the memorable ones?
Oh, that was so sad. That
Yeah.
was really sad. But we had some amazing. I mean, it got so hot in there. We'd be messing about, and there was a thing on the wall, and I'd forgotten about it, and so I saw the video that I'd shot of everyone had their faces drawn round and the top of their body in all their different heights on a wall in the studio. So, but we messed about. I mean, messed about something chronic, but I always had my camera with me, so I'm not in any of the messing about, but I was filming them messing about.
She was.
So I'll ask the permission. Might be some stuff that we can show you, but I've got to ask the others' permission first, because it's not rude. It's just funny, but it's them just enjoying backstage, because there's a lot of hanging around in telly because they're waiting for, and also because we'd be going between different scripts and different sets, you'd have different props and stuff would come out, so you know it all had to be reset over lunch, and then you come back and them wearing different outfits and that sort of stuff.
Yes, well, at least on your last episode they ended with a good song.
Oh, the very last. Oh, no, that's
when you left.
No, that was the last location.
Yes, location.
No, the last location. Yes, was down in Hastings.
Yes.
Oh, Max. Yes.
Yes.
Under the sea.
Very nice song.
Under the sea. Yes. The Sea Life Centre in Hastings. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So that was the last time your hand was in Bella.
Yes, in the puppet Bella. I have no idea what happened to them. I mean, I was quite thankful actually because my hand used to bleed. My knuckles used to
Really?
bleed.
Was it
But
that
inside,
bad?
inside the head was like trumpet stops. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard work, and they were kind of metal edged.
Yes.
So occasionally you'd wear a fingerless glove if you could get it in there, but then you couldn't get it out again.
Very slightly.
This is the last time Sally's got her hand in me.
Oh, Max. Under the sea, under the sea, it's very, very quiet when you're under the sea. I hope the sharks are friendly, not hungry for their tea. Oh, under the sea, it's too quiet for me.
But
So well, this leads to the next question then. So what was it like filming the outside broadcast episodes? Any fun stories from those shoots or?
no, just lots of animal filming with animals, and my dad.
Yes.
Yeah, my dad.
Yes.
My dad.
We're coming to
who's-
that question,
who's,
yeah.
just passed away this January, but he was in the lambing program. So that was, and our farm is in the lambing program. And
So how did it feel to have your dad appear in the lambing
yeah,
episode then?
yeah, very sweet, very sweet.
Yes.
He was always
Because he
into
actually had
Amber.
to remember his lines, didn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah, they
Yeah.
are. Them.
Do you think the lambs are in here, Jay? Oh, let's have a look.
Oh, hello. Can I help you?
We're looking for lambs. We want to learn how to look after them. Have you got any like this?
I've got lambs, but I haven't got any in here. This is my house. If you follow me, I'll take you and show you where they are.
And also, but because we filmed it, we filmed that in April or May in 1999.
Yeah.
Bob loved my dad's voice and sort of used a little bit of that sort of twang that my dad had as for Max.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't recorded any studios by then, so
Yeah.
we were still sort of perfecting the voices. I must admit, we were probably perfecting the voices.
Yes. During
Yes,
recording.
I hadn't answered your question, but yes, it did happen.
Yeah,
in
because
that
obviously
direction, yeah.
Bella definitely progressed a lot, especially towards
Oh
the end.
yeah, well, you
I
sort of
suppose
get
she was a
used
lot
to-
more comfortable, wasn't you,
Well,
towards the end?
you know your character by
yeah,
then.
exactly. I mean, you did like over 100 programmes, like before your last
100,
sort of
110.
yeah, before your last sort of block. So
Yeah,
he was really
yeah.
comfortable with
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. It's like any of the characters I've ever done. There's a line you say to yourself to get you back into that
Yes.
voice again. So as long as I go, I'm Bella, then I know where I
Yes.
am. Or I'm Peggy Patch and I'm out today. That's
Yes.
it. I can do it then. And
Yes.
Bits and bobs. I can't remember. I'm Bobs. And Dogsby is yes.
Yeah.
Kababbage, yes.
Kababbage.
Dogsby. Kababbage and Dogsby, yes.
Yes.
Yes, and then you think, yes, now I can do it. Yeah. Well, I think I can.
It just takes one line for her to remember her voice, and then
Yes.
she's just so
Yeah.
good at it. She just goes straight into it.
Well, Lynn Robertson Bruce, that was Bob's in Bits and Bobs. She is Scottish, but she'd have to say, "There's been a murder in Burger King" to get herself back into her Scottish accent. Yeah. So yeah.
Interesting. So, now I don't know if you'll know this one, but in the episode Camouflage, Bella brings in a pet stick insect named Sally. So was that named after you, or just a coincidence?
No idea. It was probably done as a tongue in cheek. I don't know whoever wrote the
You
script.
see
it
the
would
episode,
probably
she's like, this is my insect called Sally, and I'm like, that's a bit weird.
yeah. I don't remember that.
She's ever
but-
so nice, Fierce.
Is she?
I don't know. I never met her.
No, I don't remember that. But you see, that would have been an interesting one because you
Yes.
can't scale up a stick insect.
It was a real stick insect.
Yeah, but you can't
Yeah.
scale one up,
No.
for a tweeny hand.
Yeah.
So it's a bit, Was
Yeah.
like somebody wrote in, the weirdest one, or the most difficult one to do, was somebody wrote in a script that then they needed eggs. But if you imagine eggs the size of a tweenie, you'd
Yeah.
need an ostrich egg to look the correct...
Or a fake egg.
And somebody had to make fake eggs
Yeah.
in a fake egg box.
Yeah.
The poor props guys. It's just like, and the door handle, the knob
Yes.
of the door handle in the
Yes.
Tweenies thing was above my head, but it was about that big.
Yeah. The door just looks, I've seen footage, it's like up
Yes,
there.
there's us standing
It's just
next
crazy
to it.
high.
Yeah.
So, obviously, along with episodes, you did other recordings for Bella. So, like, do you remember recording for the PC game and the dolls?
Yeah. Hours.
What do you
and
remember
hours.
for that?
Oh, just hours and hours. And you've got pages and pages of script.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it wasn't even written down. It was on a computer in front of us, and we just had to read it off.
Oh, okay.
And they go, no, do that again, or you'd go, sorry, fluffed it, and they go, yeah, do it again. You'd have them in your ear. You always have headphones on.
Yes.
Keep one ear on and one ear out.
Yes.
Because you can't hear the sort of ambient.
Yeah.
Hours and hours, days, I think, of doing that.
Yeah, repeated lines.
You know. Step 2. No, don't do that. Go there. No, you're rubbish.
Oh, I bet you got bored.
Well, you just have to keep your energy up. Because
Yeah.
it's got to be, it's quite tiring, and your voice is another muscle.
Yeah.
So you kind of, get a bit,
Yeah.
tired.
So, did you keep any memorabilia from the costumes or the set?
I had lots of offcuts from the costume cutting.
Yes.
Yes, nothing from the set. No, and
I think
made,
you had a lot of scripts, but you've got.
Oh
you
yeah, I
sold
kept
them
my
all.
scripts. Yeah. Well, I just haven't got the room to store them, and they're
I
fire
think
hazard.
you kept some of the memorable ones, didn't you?
I've kept the farming, the lambing one.
I think you've got Honesty because it's the first one with Bella.
Yes, yeah.
And I think you've got Undersea World.
You know more than me. Yes, probably because that was the last.
The last
one.
location shoot.
Yeah. And if there's some drawings, we drew on some of them, and everyone signed them, and there's all sorts of stuff. That I've kept the decent ones, and also I've got 2 kids, big kids, but they might want some of this stuff, so I can't get rid of everything.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So when did it actually hit you that Tweenies was going to be a big success?
Standing at Boreham Wood, I was living up there in a flat, a rented flat.
Yeah.
And standing in the big Tesco's up there, and somebody buying a Bella doll in front of me, and me wanting to go, that's me, on the conveyor belt, and thinking, no, do I say something with the kid in the shopping trolley? And I thought, oh no, that would absolutely.
I'd just been like this. I'm Bella.
Yeah, and they go.
Yeah, who's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but it would be funny, yeah. I mean, and when they started bringing out the talking dolls,
Yes.
it was good going into Tesco and just pressing your stomach or whatever, the hand, whatever it was, just to see if you
Just to
worked.
listen to your voice in the whole shop.
But it'd be quite a bit. Sometimes, some lunchtimes, it would be all of us in there. So
Yes.
you'd have me, Bob, Justin, and Cole all going round pressing the dolls. Nobody would know it was us.
So have you ever been recognised? Like, had your voice ever been recognised?
No, never.
Really?
No, never.
No one's ever heard your voice
No,
before.
it's
That sounds
fantastic.
familiar.
No,
What a
fantastic.
brilliant job.
Oh, yeah.
What a brilliant job.
No. Even my kids, because they've got a different surname, got my married surname.
Yes.
But, trying to sort of, when they said, oh, my mum's Bella, they go, no, she's not.
Oh, yes, she is.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
So what do you think made Tweenies resonate so strongly with children?
Really good scripts.
Yeah,
really good.
they are brilliant
really
scripts.
good scripts.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, and Will and Ian would not have let anything go out unless it was perfect.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a dodgy script in there. Really,
No, they're all pretty well written.
Well, they're rounded because you've got to. The thing they always said about kids' TV, and even when I worked on Playdays, right ever since I started in kids' TV, they always saying you're talking to one child at home. You're not talking to. You can't think you're talking to thousands of children. You are doing a program for that one
Specific
child at home
yeah.
that could be lonely, that hasn't got anyone else to talk to, or just having a bit of a rubbish time with life, or could be the happiest kid on earth. Whatever you are,
it was dedicated to that one child.
One child at home, and that's the resonance from.
That's why it's so strong.
Guys like you coming back,
Yes.
time and time again, saying, "Oh, thank you, you were our childhood."
Yeah.
But we were just sort of doing our job, which basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, the music was absolutely. I mean, I only worked with Liz and Graham. But there were some other musical directors came in later for the second and third series. But I mean, both of their music was cheeky,
their music's great,
funny, really complicated.
What I liked about their music is they knew how to make it relatable for each topic.
Yeah.
Like if it was sad, the music would be sad,
Yeah.
or heartwarming.
Yeah.
Like they made it fit each category.
Yeah. My favourite episode though is the Christmas Eve.
Yes.
Christmas Eve
that song
episode.
is beautiful.
Oh.
Yes.
It still makes the heckles on the back of my neck come out, and
I love
it's
that
Santa
song.
when Bella goes, it's Santa. It's like out of the Railway Children. And some of you probably won't know the film, but there's a film called The Railway Children when Yeah, she shouts, "Daddy, my daddy!" And it was like that to me. It was like that.
It's Santa.
Santa,
Yes.
Santa Claus! It must be Santa Claus!
The song is really nice.
And that was magical because they were all in their pajamas and their
Yes.
socks at home, and you
Yes.
saw each of their little
Their
bedrooms.
bedrooms.
I thought that was absolutely inspired.
It's a really good episode.
And then the music.
Yes.
I've gone all goose pimply just
Yes.
thinking about it. Yeah,
The music's so good.
Yeah.
Would I like to meet
Who would I
to the night so bright? If I had my friends, it would be just right.
But,
Yes.
yeah. But we used to. But I'd be driving to London sometimes, and we'd been sent the cassette in the post, or we'd been given the cassette
Of the song?
of the songs.
Yeah.
But the on one side it would be with their backing
And
vocals
then
on it, and then the other side we'd have the instrumental.
Yes.
So I'd be driving my car with the windows open, sometimes singing loudly, messaging the boxes or
Yes.
or whatever we were singing.
Yes.
I did get some looks, I must admit, especially if it was nursery rhymes.
Yeah.
People thinking, why isn't she listening to some head-banging tunes?
Yes.
But
But to be honest, even the nursery rhymes are quite catchy.
Yeah,
The way
yeah.
the way they compose them, they are so catchy.
yes, yeah.
I think that's why Tweenies is also so strong for children, because the it draws you in.
Yeah,
I know it drew me in as a kid.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and it still draws me in now.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
music's just really good.
Well, it was kind of a natural step from Playdays,
Yeah.
which was a very factual, well, not very factual, but
There was some factual
well, it was
stuff.
a learning
Yeah.
thing. The bus stopped at a different thing every day, and
Yeah.
then Fun Song Factory was songs and fun. Is exactly what it said on the tin.
Yeah,
but
well, that's what it is.
But Tweenies was a kind of amalgamation of all those things,
Yes.
and educational as well.
Yes.
It had to be educational.
Yes.
Yeah, so good.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and also didn't say the BBC bosses when we were doing Tweenies, with Tweenies, they didn't want the children to be barefooted. I don't know why. It was kind of this, can't have them barefooted. So that's where the boots came in. So I didn't make little boots on the first dolls. Yeah, that's why they went from barefooted to having shoes. So that was their decision. Also, I got all my timings a bit wrong. Yeah, I made the first Tweenie dolls I was asked to make by February the 27th, 1998. That was the deadline. I just looked in my diary. So 1998, so that was before. And then we had some meetings in March. And then we did the Fun Song Factory recordings. And then by the 17th of June 98, I had to get the rest of the Tweenies made and a beanbag and a puppet fizz to perform in front of the BBC bods. So I remember doing that. I just hadn't got the dates right because I've looked back. And then we recorded at Graham's house on the 24th of June 98. We recorded that voice CD when I did Jake. So that was June 98. And then we had a couple of live sort of audition kind of things in July, twice at BBC. And then we got told we'd got the Tweenies on the 24th of July 1998. And then we had meetings in August and October. And Neil Scanlon's studios, he moved to Elstree on 19th of October. And then I had to make large Tweenie adults. That's what I've got written down. And then we picked the colours during November, what the colours would be. And I met up with Neil Scanlon and we were sort of discussing all the things and made up some mock-up of the costumes at the time. And then the fabric came in and the dyeing company went on holiday. I didn't remember this. So Christmas wasn't that bad because the dyeing company were closed the whole of Christmas. And I met back at Elstree when I met the guys that did all the sets and everything. They were starting to build on the 4th of Jan 1999. We had a big meeting and then I did a blank costume tryout from the blank material because the rest had gone off then to be dyed. So the blank costume tryouts were the 19th of January 99. And then on the 26th of January, the first batch of fabrics came back from the dyeing people. So it was the 26th of January, and we had costume fittings on the 28th of January and a budget meeting. And then, so me and I pulled in as many people as I could, made the costumes between the 26th of January and the 7th of February. So that's actually 12 days. We actually made all the costumes, 2 sets of everything, 2 sets of puppet costumes for all the characters, and 2 sets of all the you know, the skin, the human costume. And then my first day of rehearsal as a voice was on the 8th of February, Monday the 8th of February. And we did our first location shoot on the 30th of March 99, which was Pond and Flowers we did. And then the first recording in the studios was Over and Under, Spider, Wriggling Fingers, Telephone, and the Top and Tail and the Pond and Flowers episodes. So that's how it all went. So when Tweenies was going out on air, I couldn't have 2 mentions on the credits. I couldn't have 2 credits. So I couldn't be Bella and be costume designer or costume maker. So but I never got the credit for the costumes anyway, which is a real shame. And that was my only sadness, that when I said I made the costumes, there's no proof other than photographs, but it would have been nice to have a small credit, but I didn't get that. But that's why I had the name of Mimics Productions, so that I could be Sally Preisig as Bella, and then Mimics could have been the costume under the name of Costumes on the credits. But it didn't happen anyway. But then I stuck with Mimics because it was quite good, because it kind of incorporated everything I did, voiceover wise, and the making of costumes and puppets, because you get given a drawing and you have to copy it, and the same with voices. Very similar, so you mimic other things. So hey, well, anyway, yeah, if you're interested, that's what I got up to, and it was lovely to have Connor here. Anyway, see you soon. Bye.
So looking back, which we've been doing, so were there any challenges or difficult moments in bringing the show to life? Was there anything that was really challenging for you?
No, not particularly. No, it was just long hours. I mean, you know, we would, and it was very hot studio. I mean, we weren't in the costume, so you know, the poor guys, as soon as they came out, you know, they would only be in the costumes. You know, they'd be asked, "Do you want to come out?" And they'd say, "No, we'll go for one more take." And then they'd take the heads off and stuff. So all credit to them. And they used to describe. Tam was saying, or several of them said, it's like wearing a lawnmower on your head.
Really?
It was, and they were really heavy. If you can imagine. They were kind of the weight of a 12 bowling ball. You know, a number 12 bowling ball. If you go and pick one of those up,
that was similar to how the heads were.
The weight of the heads, and making the noise of a lawnmower in your head.
Yes.
So they had an earpiece in, so the directors could say, "You're going off. You're going off camera.
Yeah, come back.
You know, and you know, so they had so much. So they had the earpiece from the directors, sort of saying, you know.
But they also have your lot's backing track
and
in your
our
ear.
backing track.
Yes.
So they'd have all that rubbish.
And then you'd have that too, and watch it on the monitor as operating, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we'd see the camera mix, so we'd know if our because that was a good thing. Yeah, so we'd have all the monitors up there, but we'd have the camera mix. We needed to have the mix, so we knew if our character had gone off screen, we needed to open their mouths. If they were out of shot, we couldn't shut their mouths, because they'd be wanting to go, you know, out of shot.
Yes.
But they didn't know they were possibly not in shot at that very moment, so they'd still be performing. But we had to be quite conscious that we weren't killing them as well. Bless them.
Yeah, it was definitely a difficult job, but it did work so well.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah.
So, considering it's been over 25 years since you last officially voiced Bella, do you find it easy to do the voice today, or do you sometimes find it difficult?
Well, it is difficult. My voice, I'm 60 now, so I was 30 something then.
Yes.
So no, well, if you don't use your voice very much, I mean, I sing a bit in my workshop here, you know, when nobody's listening, but I wouldn't say it's good, but it's another muscle. You have to keep using it. So and also my vocal tone is here. This is my natural speaking voice.
Bella's up there.
Bella is right up there. So
she is. She's right up there.
Yeah.
I know.
off the scale. Yeah, you still do it very well.
But then Dogsby's down.
Yeah, you can do him. Yeah.
Yeah,
So if Tweenies was ever revived or rebooted, would you go back as Bella if Emma couldn't?
I'd love to.
Do you think you would go back?
Yeah, of course I would, because I'd love to see the old guys again.
Yes.
I mean, it isn't just, it is, yes, one, yeah, it's the programme. One, okay, to be completely blunt, yeah, it would be nice to earn some money again. Costumes don't pay very well.
No.
But yeah, and just to work with a bunch of people that you really loved working with. And it was very good fun. Mainly really good fun. We worked damn hard when we were working, but we had quite a laugh when we weren't. Yeah. So like anything, yeah.
So this is really sad.
Yeah.
So why did you end up leaving Tweenies, and how did you feel when Emma took over the role of Bella?
Well, it's two things. One, I had my daughter Sam.
Yes.
And so Sam, when Sam was 1, sort of just when I got given the job of making the costumes in 1998. So made the costumes and then went off, and we started rehearsing on something like April the something anyway.
Yeah.
One, she missed me. 2, then I was pregnant when we had to re-sign our contract. So I had to sign my contract for March 2000. I found out I was pregnant. And in fact, I was pregnant, I didn't realise, with twins.
Yes.
And Siamese twins, which is a bit of a weird one. So I didn't know they were Siamese twins, but I didn't sign my new contract, so they had to find someone else to take over from me, because I needed to go home and give birth. But that didn't happen, which was very sad. So by the time I found out I couldn't have the children, the twins, Emma had already taken over. But funny thing, that's the other thing. Emma, when I was in Playdays, Emma was Peggy Patch.
Was she?
As the character. The Peggy Patch was a human, a human costume, a girl in a costume.
And that was
on
Emma?
Stage, and that was Emma.
Oh.
So Emma had copied my voice once before, we auditioned, there were quite a few came in to be auditioned, and Emma was pretty strong. I don't know, it really wasn't up to me, but I was there as in the capacity to show them how the pack system worked, and if they could work it, if they were happy to be doing that bit, because it was a double-edged, you had to be able to do the voice and operate their mouths to quite a good standard. Although they weren't really picky about how good the lip sync was, because of course they were going to be dubbed into so many different languages. In several of the languages it would be hit and miss, and the mouth just doing that, although the lips curled. There were 16 servos, called the things that push the rubber lips in and out, so 16 all the way around. So if you didn't hit them all correctly, they weren't too concerned. So just the very funny thing though, that there was an underground car park at Elstree, and if anyone had a car key fob, it would set, the animatronics would go a bit doolally on the characters, and sometimes you'd get your character going bah, 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 bah. And they'd be going, Sal, stop messing about, you get near in. I'm like, look, I haven't even got my hands on the and they'd find it sometimes people below or above us, or if planes went over, and so, that was very rare.
Obviously because of like the music and effects and the background noise which is put in the episodes for other dubs. Is that why you could sometimes hear like a car or like some like background noise?
You might do, yes, if there was someone going past outside the studio, but that would be
because you can hear it a lot even in the actual episodes, like when you can hear the animatronic mouths moving as well.
That's
that robotic sound.
It's very,
you hear that in like all the episodes.
But so going back to so Emma, and I've subsequently heard her being interviewed, and I didn't realise that she'd her boyfriend at the time, I think he's now her husband, had bought a version of it and taken out my voice and put her voice in it, and then she got the job basically because of that. But then she had been sort of following me anyway. But so and so Yeah,
Yes.
I made her a Bella doll. Well, I'd made them before I left. Everyone had their own doll
For their
Well,
own
they
character.
could pick. So
Oh.
Alan couldn't have a doodle, so I didn't make doodles. But yeah, so Alan, I can't remember what I ordered. I still got the list of what I made for each of them. But I think Alan had a Jake, I think. But anyway, yeah. So that was why. So so I didn't carry on. I didn't carry on with Tweenies. So that was the year 2000. So it was a bit of a miserable year for me. And then I got a job on GMTV as a result of Fun Song Factory. The guys that did MacDonald's Farm. I know
Yes.
somebody asked me on YouTube the other day how I got MacDonald's Farm. They said the Fun Song Factory producers, Abbey Home Entertainments, were doing this series called MacDonald's Farm, and Tony Reid, who had done some of the outside broadcast Tweenies episodes, he was directing it as well. So they said, would I make the costumes and the puppets for it? So then one of the guys from Tweenies helped me do the animatronics, because I didn't do animatronics, I did the puppets. And it all went a bit pear-shaped, that job, but and I didn't puppeteer on it because then I got pregnant with my son that I did have, and I did also the first series of Bits and Bobs and the first series of
the Shiny Show
in 2000 into 2001, and my son was born in late 2001.
And they aired in 2002, didn't they?
Some of them
for
did,
the new
yeah.
CBeebies show.
Yes, when it became CBeebies.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't film the second series of Bits and Bobs because then I had my son Eddie, who was born in October 2001, because that's when both of them went into second series recording.
Your timing, Sally.
My timing was rubbish.
I had a sheltered upbringing.
Oh, you're here with tape on your nose.
You wouldn't notice, I've just cut myself shaving. Carry on.
And then I haven't performed since. Really, I auditioned for one thing for Tony Reid again. Did a pirate singing thing. I auditioned for, but I didn't get that because my voice wasn't quite right. So then I thought I hung my microphone up. Then carried on making costumes.
And that's where you still are today.
Yeah.
So we're coming up to the last section of questions now. So how has being part of Tweenies influenced your career and life moving forward?
Oh, not a lot really. It was pretty much the end.
Well,
Yeah,
that's a
it's
great question.
I went on to do Shiny Show and Bits and Bobs.
Yeah. Do you think Tweenies might have helped you get those jobs or not?
Shiny Show, I knew one of the directors. I didn't know. No, that was sort of completely. That was a new bunch of people, which was great. So,
what was the company?
So Open Mind Productions. I met them, and they did Numberjacks. They were
Yes.
really good scripts again.
Yes.
Roland Tongue and Chris Ellis. Chris Ellis, so funny. Wrote some brilliant scripts. And again, Liz did the music.
Yeah.
Liz, did Graham do the music? Liz definitely did some music. Anyway, apologies, Graham, if you did.
You're both brilliant.
Yeah. And the Shiny Show was just brilliant. And they said, would you make the puppets for us? And I said, yes.
So did you make all three of them?
All three of them, yeah.
Is Dogsby your favourite puppet?
Oh, Dogsby! Yes, and Dogsby had eye blinks, which was
was he heavy?
He was really heavy, but it was operated with my middle finger, so I could do his mouth and blink at the same time inside.
Oh, wow.
So it was really heavy.
It's difficult.
So it wasn't. Sometimes you have a puffer on your other hand, and we were always jammed inside the sofa, so it was quite. At least if you were the quizzer, you had a bigger chair to perform in, but you were still again built into the chair.
Yeah.
And then any time we did the extra, the funny bits at the side, that was quite funny. The messing about with banana skins and.
Yes, a little bit of tidying never hurt anyone. Whoa! Ow.
What's up, Dogsby?
Well,
Dogsby's not up. He's down.
Yes. Ooh. Because I slipped on this.
Ah. Yes. It could have been one of mine.
And, so I was again with Sue Munro from Playdays, my old mate, and she'd been a performer, presenter on children's BBC, and then she went to 5.
Yes.
Channel 5. And Wim Booth, and Wim's hilarious, just absolutely hilarious. You had each other in stitches. She's just a really funny. She's got funny bones. She has.
Yes.
Yes. The Shiny Show. So we'd filmed. I filmed the whole first series of doing that, and a guy called Phil Hawthorne was the director. He's now a vicar.
Oh, okay.
Immensely funny bloke.
Yes.
Really, really funny bloke as well. And you see, the floor managers are the same. And the cameramen were the same. So in TV, you just meet the same people again and again, and you start laughing where you left off laughing the last time. It's bloody hilarious.
Yes.
So excuse me for swearing, but really good fun. Really, really good fun. So that was that, and then Bits and Bobs again. That was BBC Scotland, and I auditioned for this guy called Brian Jameson, who is a stalwart of children's TV as well, and I'd never come across him in all those years, but I'd heard about him. And every time I went, I auditioned for Bits, but we just got this thing going that he'd never given me the job. And so after every programme we recorded, I'd sort of say, Brian, have I got the job now? He'd go, no, I'll let you know next week. And it was just this running joke. So if I ever see him, I said, have I got the job yet? And he'd go, but But our paths don't cross because he's up in Edinburgh most of the time now. But yes, working for BBC Scotland, that was hilarious as well.
Yes.
Really lovely. Completely different bunch of people.
Yeah.
So that again, that was refreshingly different.
Yes.
But Lynn Robertson Bruce, who I'd met her years ago, it was nice working with her as well because But again, I didn't do the second series because I had Eddie by then, and Rebecca Nagan took over, and Rebecca's famous for Rosie and Jim.
Oh yeah,
lovely girl as well. I mean, although our paths have crossed a little bit, but not. And then and another girl called Sam did, whose name escapes me, Mason, is it something like that? And she did Dogsby. So instead of me,
I'm not in the reboot, but the voice replacements were quite good because they were very similar to your voice.
Yes,
I noticed they were very similar.
Oh yeah, I mean Bits and Bobs didn't matter too much because they were sort of a ball of fluff. You couldn't get much character into a ball of fluff. But oh my goodness, we've got some outtakes. There's some very funny outtakes. And the Shiny Show, the Shiny Show was the hardest job I've ever done. Yes. Physically the hardest.
Because it's constant puppeteering, isn't it?
Yeah, and a lot of words.
Yes.
And most of the songs, I don't think we did. I think we must have picked up some of the songs.
Is Singing Like a Dog hard?
Yeah.
Because you're like, down there.
Yes.
See?
Yes. Really good.
Brilliant.
Really
it
good,
sounds
really
like
good.
so much fun.
Yes.
So is Tweenies the highlight of your career, or are there other projects you're equally proud of?
Oh, Playdays, all of them. Playdays is the only annoying one. Nobody ever mentions it on all these sort of 100 top 10, 100, or top 100 children's programs.
Yeah,
right
Playdays
down.
never on there.
But Playdays, everyone calls it Playbus anyway. That's the other, because the name had to change. Because Playbus was the play school, the National Play School Association sort of thing. Playdays I was really proud of because that again was a really good.
Again, there's some
program.
brilliant songs on that as well.
Really good. And it did get better and better, I think, because the programs weren't quite. There was always a good book.
Yes.
And some good tales and and they let me write. I wrote several scripts. I wrote 4 scripts, but I think 3 of them were filmed.
Yes.
Yeah, one of them wasn't.
You still got the scripts, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got the scripts.
I think I've got photographs. I'll put them in.
Yeah, Jack and Jill. And, 10 green bottles.
Yes.
Anyway, but I was allowed to write the scripts, and that's really nice.
Yeah, that is really nice.
I'm sort of even prouder of that, having written
the fact
some.
that you was Peggy and you'd been written in a couple of episodes. That is really good.
Yeah. I wrote 2 synopses for Tweenies, but they never got used.
They didn't.
Which was such a shame. I did one.
They're
about,
really good as well.
Yeah, I did one about a power cut.
And a Muddle Day where they all swapped voices and stuff.
Because we could have done it, because we would have just operated each other's heads.
Different pack systems.
So we could have just spoken. Because it was one of those sort of fantasy ones about being all in a muddle, where we went off into a fantasy and then all our voices would swap over. So I could be Jake with Jake's mouth doing Bella or whatever. So and Milo being Fizz or whatever.
That would have been a great episode.
Yeah. And Doodle, it always starts with Doodles. Yes. Of course, it always starts with Doodles.
Always Doodles.
Going, oh, I wonder who would.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Unfortunately, I would have been really.
It would have been a great episode.
Yeah. But again, I still think yes, it would be brilliant if they should be still on telly, but I don't think the tapes have survived. I think you know, get people asking all the time, can they put Tweenies back on iPlayer? Can they put?
It's not her decision.
Playdays, yeah.
If it was her decision, then it would be on.
But I don't have. You know, they were on pneumatic tapes, and these tapes are like that big and great big with a handle.
And you need like
and
special machines to digitise them and stuff.
But I think loads of them just got taped over and used again for other things. You know. Not just us, but, you know, things like the Two Ronnies and Morecambe and Wise, all the big programmes.
Yes.
We were just small fry. For small fry.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, do you still keep in touch with any of the cast members or the crew?
Yeah. Bob and Colleen, you know, I do a lot, you know, follow their careers because they're so brilliant. Bob is amazing. Justin, we were all really good mates with him, but he does tend to not want to. I've still got his telephone number, but he doesn't tend to answer, which is a bit of a shame.
It is a shame.
But
you and Justin were like the two jokers, weren't you?
Yes.
There's pictures of you two. You two were you had a really good, funny bond.
Oh, yeah, all of us. I mean, all of us did, you know.
Oh, yeah, I know, but like on location stuff, it was you and Justin who would sit together and mess about and stuff.
But we'd always come up on the train together because we'd live on the same train line. So when we were coming up to do Fun Song Factory, Justin would be on the train. I'd get on the train first and he'd join me. I'd stick my head out the window and said, "Oi, I'm here," you know. And then he'd go, "Do you think we'll get a job on this thing called the Tweenies?" I said, "Well, I don't know. We've got to, you know, our guess is as much as anyone's." And what we didn't know what was coming. And then he's gone, so special.
Yes.
But I don't blame him for having to keep his life a bit more.
I mean, he's with Mr. Tumble. That went nuts.
It did go
so obviously,
nuts,
him having to stay quite quiet and sheltered. Yeah, understandable, really.
He's touring next year, so I'm hoping I'll go and see a couple of his shows.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to.
Yeah, and he's always down here at Paulton's Park. So but I haven't gone to Paulton's Park to go and abduct him,
kidnap.
Yeah. Well, he used to come down to the house. I mean, they've all been down. They came down to parties and stuff.
Yeah.
But really good people. But again, it's like anything. You work. You know, I worked sort of 3 years in the theatre company, and I worked I worked 2 years on Tweenies, a whole year with the cast, and working almost a year before that on the production. So you kind of do as a freelancer, you do these batches of time with people, and it's very sad when you all dissipate, you all sort of fizzle away and go on to work with a different team of people. So but I've tended not to work. I've just worked on my own because of the workshop and working. I work on my own most of the time, and then people phone up and say, "Do a voice. Can you do a voice for me?"
That person's me. That person. Sorry.
I wish you would stop doing it all the time.
My bad, guys. Don't attack me.
He's brought me out my box.
To be honest, I have brought Bella back, guys. You should be thanking me.
Yeah, I'm back.
I really do enjoy the stories we both put.
I'm headless, I'm eyeless.
Yes, I do like the stories we do, because obviously Sally is so good at, like, when it comes to like emotions for like her voices, she's really good at it. So she provides the voice, and then I do the illustrations.
He does the beautiful writing and the illustrations.
The writing. Yes. I try and keep it true to the episodes.
He edits the performance out of me.
I do. Now, it might be a bit difficult in the flesh this time. Anyway, right. So, sorry about that. So, what do you think the legacy of Tweenies is today, and how do you feel about its place in children's TV history? History.
Well, yeah, it doesn't get mentioned enough. Teletubbies is the one that really gets mentioned, and brought it back, or they're bringing it back.
They have brought it back.
And they keep bringing back other things. I think
Yes.
the trouble is with Tweenies, it's a very expensive production.
And not only that, but I think the rights are all a bit at the minute. No one knows
Yeah.
where who belongs to who and what.
But there were a lot
yeah.
of people involved. It was
Yes.
it was a lot of money,
Yes.
in the millions, I know. And each of the heads was in 1999 were about 70 grand each.
Crikey.
And they had a head each, 2 heads
Yes.
each character in case something happened
Yeah.
to the first one.
So it's an expensive process.
It was an expensive process, and then each character, there were 3 people on each character. So there was the dresser for the character,
Yeah.
there was the skin performer, us voices, and the person that dressed them and put their heads on and made sure they were all right. Because if
Yes.
they wanted out, or felt sick or had a panic attack, they'd have to call, wait, stop,
Yes.
get out.
Did that ever happen, or?
Oh yeah, I mean, not often.
But
not
there was a
often,
few
but,
times.
But it was so hot.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We did have a sort of an air conditioning unit that
Yes.
kind of blasted us in one corner, because also the pack systems were hot as well.
Yes.
So you'd be. It's not like working in a kitchen. It
No.
was a stupid heat, but it was.
It was still hot,
It was
yeah.
uncomfortable heat.
Yeah. And with a big lawnmower like thing on your head,
Yeah.
it's obviously really,
Yeah.
really hot.
I mean, there was moment. I mean, not a lot ever happened. Poor Chris. 2 things happened with poor Chris. One, he had a car accident. So
Is that when Matthew came along to replace Milo
Matt,
for a bit?
had to be Chris because
Yes.
he'd had a bit of whiplash, and he got booted off a motorway. It wasn't his fault. So he'd had an accident, and then but it also. The camera's on a pedestal, so you've got the
Yes.
base of the camera, but on an arm, and you've got the
Yes.
jib with the camera on the end, and because they can only see through their mouths, Chris was running towards the pedestal, but not realising the camera was right at head height, and he hit it and went straight back. But they split the cheek of Milo, because Milo did everything at full pace.
Yes.
So, I mean, Chris, an amazing performer.
It's very good for Milo, because
Yeah.
you've got to be really bouncy.
Oh,
and-
he was an incredible guy.
Yeah.
He's a really good musician as well. So
Yeah.
Chris Beck, he's touring at the moment, so he's a lovely guy.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, and he came a cropper on that one. But all respect for Alan being in Doodles.
Yeah, that's difficult.
because he had calipers on his arms to keep his shoulders level.
Yeah.
So just so he could be a dog shape, but
Yeah,
so
that must be-
physically,
yeah.
and he's older than me, and I feel infirm. But he's a really good performer. Yeah,
I think everyone in their own way on Tweenies was very talented.
yeah, it was a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, and the people just typing up all the scripts, the amount of
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah.
And we'd be handed. This even just going through the scripts when I was getting rid of them, there were like 4 versions of some of
Yes,
them.
because you had the camera script and the script for
Yeah.
the skin actors.
Yeah,
Just
and the ones with the notes in, which we tended to keep. I'd prefer not to have the fresh script. I would just sort of keep.
Yes.
But the last one, well, you put in any changes, but I'd rather read my hand.
Yes.
We'd still have the script up to know what was coming and where the beats were. Even though we weren't speaking live, we were still operating the mouth. So I still had all my lines
and
stuck
like your
to the
notes
wall.
jotted down.
Well, because you'd forget, because
Yeah.
you'd be doing 5 or 10 at a time.
Yeah.
And you'd have to forget them and then move on.
Yeah.
That's why you asked me, what was that? No idea.
No idea.
I can't remember.
Went just like that.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you could give a message to the fans who grew up watching Tweenies, what would you say now?
Thank you, crikey, and I hope that we helped you through good and bad times. That we were there as a. I mean, all the kids programs I watched as a kid, I would look back on fondly, and if I ever met, I met Valerie Singleton from Blue Peter, from my era of Blue Peter, and I was dumbstruck. I was
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, they were anyone in your childhood. It's such a important age to get those building blocks of how nicely you speak, and and I'm sure that kids have learn certain vocabulary, you learn how to mix colours of paint.
Yes.
You can sing a song.
Yes.
And you can say, I want to go and see an animal like that in the real world. I
Yes.
don't know. It's just that's what kids TV is about. it's there to be educational but fun. Yeah,
Very fun.
absolutely. Yeah, but thank you. Thanks for watching, really.
Okay, so then obviously this was probably just after Tweenies, but you also recorded children's story cassettes.
Yes,
we've
yeah,
got
did quite a few.
we've got one of them here. There's one over there.
Yes.
So you recorded
Loads of these.
children's story cassettes first for Marks and Spencer,
Yeah.
and then 21 for Paragon Publishing in 2002, which are
$1.99. It's
yes,
bargain.
I get it for free.
Yeah.
So, how did you get involved in that, and what was it like performing for audio compared to television? Because obviously Justin and Colleen also ended up appearing on those tapes too.
Actually, this was after Tweenies. to be
Yeah, so
honest.
how did this come together?
Yeah, we're just mates
Yeah,
again, and
yeah.
just sort of saying, "Are you free to come and record?"
Yeah.
And a lady called Etta Saunders, who I worked with on Carlton. She worked for Carlton TV, which is part of GMTV, and so I'd known her. She, her sister, had written a load of books.
Yeah.
And I did some little dolls called Claxo. It never came about, but it was a really good little series. But yes, she said, I've got some recordings I need done. Can you suggest any people? So she was going to use me, which was great. And then I suggested Colleen. I don't think Bob did a couple, but he didn't do many. And another guy called Ross, who we'd known for ages through... anyway, it's just who goes around comes around. Yeah,
Justin did a lot of them as well.
Yeah, Justin did some. Yeah, me, Cole.
Yeah, so I don't know if you remember, but out of all those recordings, do you have a favourite or like a memory from them, or?
No, just learning loads and loads and loads of songs. Just really, but they were really hard worded songs.
Yeah.
But no, learning the songs, but you don't physically have to learn them. That's what's so good about it. You've always got a script to read.
Yeah,
off.
and
You've
obviously
just
with the
gotta
tune, you sort of just follow the tune,
yeah,
don't
you
you?
hope, and
Yeah.
you can always stop. Luckily, these things aren't done live, So
did you at that time prefer audio to television, or
didn't mind?
was it
to be
easier?
honest.
Was it an easier progress?
Yeah, no, I probably enjoyed the puppeteering because you were doing it live, and talking, and you could put a bit more into it. Whereas sound recording, it just has to be note perfect.
Yeah,
as perfect as I can. I mean, I'm not the most beautiful singer. I mean, Colleen.
She's lying.
No, but but if you listen to my voice, I did the sort of the earthiest songs. I did the sort of
not too high.
The grandma kind of sounding
not too
ones.
high.
Colleen and Justin and stuff, and I think Teresa Gallagher was on it as well. Teresa's done loads of stuff on telly as well.
Yeah.
She was on Playdays with us, and she sung it. I mean, she's got the most beautiful, pure voices. So they did the really twiddly beautiful bits, and I was more the old
just in the background.
Yeah, I did the sort of the character, the character stuff. So
You also did a lot of the talking rather than singing as well.
Yes,
on a
did
lot
quite
of
a lot of
like
voices.
introducing and stuff like that.
Yeah, and silly voices, and I've always done animal impressions and things like that.
Yeah.
So there's quite a lot of me being a pig or a cow or a horse or typecasting as usual. But
I know.
Yeah, some of my costumes are in Hoburne parks down in the south of England. So if you ever go and see the Sammy Squad, I made them. So Bella made the Sammy Squad. So there's a seahorse, a turtle, a lobster, and Captain Smuggles, and a mermaid. I made the mermaids as well. So
So that was the last question for this interview. So I'm very sad that me and Sally have to go, but this isn't on the script. But I just want to say to Sally, thank you.
And I want to say to Connor, thank you.
But I want to say a bigger thank you.
No, mine's bigger.
Mine's more bigger.
No, mine's big. Mine's
a
bigger.
biggest.
No,
No, but seriously,
yeah.
thank you, because you are my childhood.
Thank you.
I grew up. I've obviously watched Emma's era too, but obviously you was on the Songtime DVD, and that's really popular. Millions and millions of copies of that were sold. So obviously I grew up with that with my mum. We used to sing all the songs.
Your poor mum.
I know, but
She has thanked me.
I do remember your voice a lot. So thank you for being my childhood.
That's all right.
I really appreciate
You're
it.
most
And thank you
welcome.
for having me here today.
That's all right. In my strange workshop.
in your
my den
workshop.
of glue and
Yes.
string and
This is just where Sally makes all of her costumes.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you for taking the time out of your day to chat with me.
No problem.
And thank you for doing this interview.
No problem.
So
it's been a pleasure.
So this has been Sally Preisig. And
Apparently, yeah.
Yes, and I'm Connor or Bella or Dogsby or whatever you want her to
Whatever
do.
you want.
Anything works. So, thank you. If you've watched the video this far, thank you for watching, obviously. Definitely make sure you subscribe because, you know, it's taken a lot of effort to get me here today.
It sure has.
It has. A lot of rearranging. And thank you for watching. I've been Connor, so this is Sally, and this is Patch to
Connor.
Patch.
Yes.
So, yeah, thank you for watching. And that's it. After a lovely chat with Sally and a quick sign of my childhood DVD, it was time for a quick selfie with Sally and Peggy, and then I headed back to the island. But Sally, thank you for being my childhood. I've been Connor, and this was Patch to Patch. See you next time. Bye-bye.